Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever Northwood Alumni Project 100 meeting. I am Julia Damchek. I'm the Executive Director of Alumni Relations and also the advisor to the Northwood University Alumni Leadership Council. This is their program, so I'm going to hand it over to one of our members, Dan Waskovich. Where's Dan? Oh, he's sitting right behind me. Like, I was frantically looking in the crowd. Got a few Dans in the audience, but Dan Waskovich is going to be our MC for the evening, and I will hand it over to him.
Thank you. Too kind. Thank you, Julie, for that introduction and really for all the hard work that you do for bringing the alumni of Northwood that are here today, as well as the alumni across really internationally together. So you and your staff deserve a big hand, so thank you. Thank you again. I'm excited to be here today. First, I want to personally welcome you all here. I've never been in this building since Northwood has moved in, so it's a really nice building, and it was fun to see the outlay of Midland there in the atrium. I want to welcome those of you watching online as well. I want to say a special hello to my wife and daughter who are watching, so hi, Julia. I'm excited about NU Alumni Project 100, which is why we're all here, because this program is really an opportunity to bring together impassioned alumni with eager, aspiring students. Through personally elective donations, alumni are able to come together and put serious resources behind these enterprising students whom we will hear from in a minute. Currently, NU Alumni Project 100 has 62 founding members and is continually growing. As a founding member, I got to go to my notes here. As a founding member, they have committed to donating $100 per semester over the course of 3 years. When brought together, the alumni will host this competitive process once a semester for at least the next 3 years and hopefully beyond. So as those students in attendance tonight, as you graduate, not a mandate, but it's expected that you would contribute to something like this. There's been, in the students in preparing for this competition, I'm under the understanding that there's been a great buzz on campus, and all of the 19 project submissions were great ideas. The students have demonstrated their passion for their proposals and the difference that it would make to this campus. So a hard work for all of your hard work as well, or a hand for all of your hard work as well. Over the next 30 minutes, each team will have 5 to 10 minutes to present. Please save all of your questions until the end, after all 3 presentations have gone. For those online, you can submit your questions through the online app or sli.do in your web browser. After all questions are done, we will take 5 minutes to vote and then announce the winner. So the whole thing's coming down tonight. It's going to be very exciting. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our first presenters, Ali and Katie from the special events team.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you again for having us here. It's a great honor to have made it this far already. So my name is Ali Nasrallah.
And I am Katie Goschuk. We are representing the Signature Events team, which is a registered student organization that helps to plan and assist at alumni and donor events such as the Outstanding Business Leaders Gala and Distinguished Women Gala, along with having guest speakers on campus.
So our whole sorry, there we go. Okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
Do this for you. We're going to do this. You ready to rock?
All right, sorry about that. So our whole idea and our proposal is to have an outdoor seating area and activity area on the mall walk for students in between classes or doing whatever it is just on campus. So we'll get more into everything later on. So some of the problems when you come onto campus right away, especially for me coming in as an incoming freshman, was there's no outdoor area to do anything really on the mall walk. With that, that's one reason why students tend to leave campus. Kaylin and I have gone up, we've asked different students about this, and they've all agreed there has to be something more. So that's what the other thing is. And then, Kaylin, if you want to talk about.
I agree. Also, when I came to Northwood for my first tour, I was blown away by how beautiful our campus is. And having an area like this, I think, would give students a better opportunity to appreciate all the nature we have here on campus.
So our vision is, again, to have some sort of activity area, some seating arrangements done. Although these pictures are just bonfire pits, there's much more to it than that. So again, and you'll see in our suggestions what we have, just something to make it feel more at home for the students rather than just a walkway to class. In between classes, if I'm stressed out, I want to go somewhere peaceful, this is where I'd go. I'm a scenery type of guy, whether it's cheesy or not, and I'd love something like this. Also, someone mentioned to me there's seating outside at the mid-calf. No one knows about that, and it's like 3 tables. So I think expanding onto that, making it more outdoors friendly would be great.
I can also tie in, I got the opportunity to volunteer at Woody's Tap Room this past fall. So as you can see from the picture in the top right, having the bonfire pit along with the outdoor seating and some outdoor games, I think would make a really great area for students to be able to spend time with each other.
So some elements that we'd like to incorporate are things like you see on the screen. So one of them would be like a patio of some sort, tetherball, hammocks, picnic tables, and outdoor lighting. Also, some sort of fire pit. Although this may not be as attainable, we just thought we'd throw it on there as a suggestion. The prices are what we found online through our research as well, giving us a grand total of $7,200 without labor. Again, I just want to really emphasize that we do not need everything on this. We understand that the money given to us is a lot, may not be able to incorporate all these. So even a little bit of this will really make it feel a lot better for the students on campus. So the benefits of having these, more students will be spending time on campus. I was actually at a meeting for the auto show before I came to do the PowerPoint for this, and I was telling everyone, yeah, we're really planning on proposing something with an outdoor arrangement or outdoor seating area, and everyone was very, very happy. I say this with the bottom of my heart. Lots of people, lots of students in general would love something like this. It's what they really dream of at Northwood, where again, like Katie said, you have such beautiful, outdoor area. Also, it would make things much nicer outside as a study area or just as like the center of campus. If you look at U of M's Diag, they have it where people just come and that place flourishes. And that's what we're really trying to accomplish with this.
So as I mentioned in the introduction, a few of the events that our group helps out with are the Distinguished Women and Outstanding Business Leaders Gala. Another segment of our group is to try and bring those honorees back to campus and have them speak for our students or host events. So I think, and I think Ali would agree, that this would be a great area to bring honorees when we bring them to campus to be able to host a coffee or a brunch or just have a social event with them while they're here.
Also going off of that, this would be a great platform for future senior gifts, either adding on to this idea or doing something with it. It's a great jump start. So talking about location-wise, again, like I said earlier, we want to have it on the mall walk so everyone can see it. We were thinking somewhere near Recognition Park. Recognition Park is beautiful and not that many people notice it or take the time to really go and observe it. So I think having more things next to it will really attract the students.
Having it near Recognition Park also would give students the opportunity to explore Recognition Park and honor all of the donors that have helped support this university throughout the years.
So in conclusion, again, we'd really like to thank you all for having us here. We really hope you take this into consideration and understand what the students really like. So we'd just like to leave you with that sentence.
We think having this area on campus would provide opportunities for students to build a community and memories with their peers while they're here. Thank you.
Very well done. Yeah, I think the bonfire is probably necessary given the amount of time that it's cold around campus here during the year. Our next presenter is going to be DeLuis Leapart, advisor for the mock trial team, who's going to be presenting some necessary tools that will give them the ability to better enable them to win the national championships, right?
Good afternoon. The best person to speak for mock trial are some extraordinary students. I present to you today first Devin Peasley, who is an award-winning student who has previously won attorney awards at the American Mock Trial Association level. Devin, tell them what mock trial is all about.
For those of you wondering what mock trial is all about, it's as close as you can get to a lawsuit without the need to hire a real legal counsel. It consists of 2 teams, 6 students on each team, 3 of them as attorneys, 3 of them as witnesses. And both teams tell their version of the story. Now, of course, you need to be convincing, you need to be compelling, all helpful in the sport. Now, in a traditional tournament, there are 4 rounds. 2 of them you act as the plaintiff, individual bringing the lawsuit. 2 of them you act as the defendant, individual defending against the lawsuit. As you move through, every time you stand up to speak, you're scored. This, of course, is how you decide who wins and loses. At the end, they tally which side has the most points. That side wins. Some of you might be wondering why we would do mock trial. Well, the reasons for that is it's incredibly competitive and it's an exhilarating sport overall. There are over 600 universities nationwide that participate annually. And through this intense competition, you strengthen your communication skills. You're able to speak in front of people. You work on your critical thinking skills. You're able to dissect really complex problems quickly. And you learn how to work as a team. You work to maximize your team's strengths and minimize their weaknesses. Throughout all of this competition, you develop a nationwide network of some of the most intelligent people there are. You've got individuals from schools all over the nation, judges, attorneys, business people from all over, all available to talk to. And at the sport, you've got the opportunity to get scholarships at the undergraduate and graduate level. Some individuals even get full-ride scholarships to law schools based solely on their contributions to a mock trial program. I'm going to call Professor Leapart back up, and she'll tell you a bit about Northwood Mock Trial's legacy.
We're asking you for funds today because we want to be able to be at championships more consistently. The slide tells you we've been there 7 out of the last 10 years, but we're asking for funds because we want to be there every year. The skills that they develop at championships are skills that they take into every curriculum and every industry and every career that they choose. And I'm just going to give you a few examples. Paul Marcino was on our very first mock trial team. He is now a litigation partner at Butzel Long in Detroit, a very large international firm. He started the program and then came 2 co-captains, one whose name is Faris Mohammed. Faris, after leading along with his co-counsel, John Repovich, that together they led us to the 2008 national championship where we placed 2nd in the country. Being division runner-up when there's 600 teams is an incredible experience. These gentlemen took their experience and now my friend in Arizona, Mr. Repovich, is a Arizona public defender, and Faris Mohammed is a PhD in education, helping kids in the inner city develop a dream of going to college. In 2009, we actually won the national championship, and that team was led by these folks I'm about to display. John Hartsfield was on that team, and he's now, after graduating with a full ride to law school, now he's a banker in North Carolina. Danny Hodges was on that team, and now she is an account representative at a very large law firm in Colorado. Lily Merchant was on that team, and now she is an account representative at a very large law firm in Boston. Lou Danner was on that team. He is now a prosecutor in Washtenaw County. Bryce Rucker was on that team, and he's now a litigation associate at Dykema Gossett, a very large international law firm. Albin Zurich was on that team. He is now back in his home country of Bosnia-Herzegovina, where he is heavily involved in politics. And Ariel Lett opened on that team, and he's now practicing law in Florida and sends me pictures of his view from his high-rise office in West Palm Beach. Another team that went to championships, in 2010 we sent 2 teams. Patrick Wixon led the team that was third in the nation that year, and Patrick is now responsible for a multi-million-dollar budget that with a construction firm that causes him to travel around the globe. Maisha was on that team with Patrick, and now she's in law school at Drake. Stephanie was the leader of the team that went in 2014, and they were runner-up, division runner-up. And Stephanie graduated from Northwood with an IT degree where she joined Dow Corning. And you know, Dow Corning recently merged with Dow Chemical, and you know, last hired, first fired, but not Stephanie. Her contributions in the IT department in the short time she had been there caused her to be accumulated with the Dow Chemical Company, so she did not lose her position like so many people did. Matt was on that team with Stephanie, and he is now, after graduating from DeVos, working at Carhartt, giving presentations to the executive team. Marlise is a golf coach at Lewis University and working on a graduate degree, and Brian is working on his very last year of law school. So you can see from this, I can't leave out Freeland. Will Freeland is now an economist in Washington, D.C., and he is with a think tank. So you can see this group is a very diverse group. They took their mock trial skills and they went to a lot of places. And we are going to ask you to help our students be even more successful in the future. But before I do, I'd like Chris to tell you the impact of their success in mock trial when it comes to recruiting new students. Chris?
Good evening, everybody. Now, as a recruiter for the mock trial program, when I speak with high school juniors, seniors, and incoming freshmen about the success that our program has had, I see the spike in enthusiasm and interest they have in coming to Northwood. And I know it when I see it because I've been on the other side of that equation. In my own personal visit to Northwood, when I heard about the mock trial program, it was one of the major factors that made me come to this school as well. And the reason why it's like that is because Northwood is a premier destination for undergraduate students who are interested in law. Now, this mock trial program, it brings students to Northwood. It makes Northwood a more attractive destination for students who are undecided and students that are interested or have been interested in law. It pretty much closes the deal with them. Now, the reason why this school is a preferred destination for students interested in studying law is because we want to compete at the highest level of competition possible. And here at Northwood, that desire is a reality. Now, on this slide, you can see the list of schools that was at our last tournament. Now, 9 out of these 18 schools have won national championships in the past. Now, when we go to tournaments and we compete against schools such as these, we don't just go to compete. We go to win. And our goal each and every year is to establish Northwood's name as the #1 mock trial program in the country. And in order to do that, there's certain resources and technology that we do need. And I'll turn it back over to Ms. Leapart to tell you all about that.
So we're asking for your donations so that we can buy 3 things. What Chris didn't tell you is that when we went to that tournament, we faced NYU first round, Columbia second round, Berkeley third round, and a small school from South Carolina called Furman, fourth round. At the conclusion of that round, all 18 teams had 3 attorneys. Some had 6 attorneys. You can do the math. 18 times 6 attorneys. Oh, but they only gave out 9 awards, and Chris was one of those award recipients. So why was he an award recipient? Because he's a very dedicated student who likes winning. And the way you win is you use your resources. We have lots of them. They're all in the library on the shelf. We have a couple copies. We're asking for your help so we can buy tablets for every dedicated student. In our audience today are some of those mock trial students who want to win awards in the future. But we only have one tablet with all the resources. And the only other way to get the resources is go to the library during library hours because they're on reserve because we have so few. But if you give us this contribution, we can purchase tablets so every kid who wants to win an award, who wants to be a returning mock trial team member, who wants to purchase, to spend time preparing over the summer, can do so. And so we're asking for the contribution to not only buy the tablets, to load them up with resources that will help them with critical thinking, and also to purchase video camera equipment so that when we take two teams, we have two cameras so that they can both study. When we went to Yale, we took two teams and we had one camera. And that means you have half the team not being videotaped, not learning from their experience. And last but not least, they use very large exhibits at trial, and they need a demo bag for traveling, one for each team. So those are the types of resources we hope to purchase with your contribution so we can give this kind of opportunity to win to more students at Northwood University. Thank you.
Some great students and alumni, definitely, and hopefully this award and technology will be able to continue that betterment. Lastly, but certainly not least, the third presenter, I'd like to introduce Chair of the Fashion Department, Professor Melodie Davis Bundrage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today. It's been a great honor so far. My name is Melodie Davis Bundrage, and again, I'm the Department Chair for Fashion Marketing and Management. But not only do I teach fashion students, I also teach retail management students. So I wanted to make sure that as I present here the Project 100 presentation, that not only fashion students will benefit from this particular software that I'm going to be talking to you about today. All of our students that take retail management courses and have an interest in retail management will also benefit from this particular software. So today I'm going to talk to you about the current state of store design at Northwood University. This is what we currently do. Although our students have a wonderful time and have a lot of fun, they are doing store design by hand. So we get out the old-fashioned graph paper and we make the most of it. And sometimes we get really fancy and we actually do some work on PowerPoint and we use smartdraw.com. That's our way of actually incorporating down. Thank you. And so, you know, this is what we're trying to do is take from paper to a computerized environment. So we are trying to get as fancy as we possibly can with the resources that we currently have available to us. Currently, the students are using smartdraw.com, and usually they just sign up for the 7-day free trial and complete the assignments that I have for them. We could purchase smartdraw.com, but it would not be the most ideal situation. So what I wanted to do today was to present to you and ask for funding for what our most ideal situation would be. The ideal situation is to buy mock-shop software. Mock-shop is the industry standard throughout all of the universities and throughout all of the fashion industry. Basically, it enhances student learnings in many ways because the students are able to present their drawings and their work in both a 2D and 3D format in full color. They're also able to complete entire store designs as well as planograms for every single SKU and for every single product category that they currently offer in the store. But I don't want you to think that it's just a nice cute way to do visuals. No, think about really retail management and how the visual merchandising aspect links to increasing store profitability.
enhancing sales. And being able to optimize your floor space means that you'll be able to sell so much more per square foot within that store, right? So it has a lot more to do with the bottom line of the businesses that they are either working for as the brand or even maybe starting their own business as well. And then last but not least, of course, it's going to prepare those students so much more for the job market. Everybody in this room knows that digital is now it's not just the future, it's the current, right? And so we really need to be working on digital systems as much as possible, and that would really equivalent Northwood with all the other major universities that are currently already using this software. So I wanted to just give you some visuals in terms of the possibilities. This is the possibilities of how our students could go from those hand drawings, go from using the basic PowerPoint and the Smart Draw softwares. We can actually have our students doing work that looks like this. So as you can see on the first picture on the right-hand side, you can do very detailed store windows. You can actually design your entire store design in multiple rooms. And then you also have your 2D view here as well, where every single product that you're selling within your store can be allocated by SKU and actually placed on a rounder, on a shelf, and actually maximize your store space. So this would be an ideal outcome for some of our student projects. And last but not least, I just wanted to explain to you what the actual funding would help us do. Mock Shop is actually a software that is donated to educational universities. The value of the donation is $750,000. But what we do have to pay for is what you see in front of you, a one-time installation cost, on-site training, travel for those trainers to come here and work with our IT department and work with me. We also have an annual license fee that's only $1,000 per year. So allowing or choosing the fashion department, an extension of the fashion department, all of those retail management students who would also use this software, $8,000 to $10,000 would allow us to purchase this software. As you also see the many logos on the screen, these are just a small portion of the retailers that are currently using this software in industry. So all of our graduates would already know how to use this software when they are applying and interviewing for this job, which would get them, of course, higher in the ranks in terms of actually being hired. And then on the other side of the screen, just a small portion of the universities that are already using this software in their fashion departments and retail management departments as well. So I wanted to thank you so much again for the opportunity to present for you today. And my last slide was just questions, and I think that's going to be for the entire group, for all three of us. But thank you again for allowing me to present.
Thank you all very much. It's always pretty powerful when you can align the student experience with what employers are looking for. But I know my stick figures probably wouldn't cut it on the 2D drawings. So, like Melodie was saying, we're going to move on to questions now. These questions, I'll kind of direct the room. Chris has a mic that he'll pass around. Questions can be for the students, for further clarification, or any questions or comments you may have.
Please note for those who are watching online that you can submit questions on the Slido app. So if you want to advance 2 slides, Dan, you can go ahead and log in, Slido, sli.do, and there's a questions tab on there. If you're watching online, you can submit a question. We're going to give about just a couple minutes to see if we have any remaining questions.
I have a question. I'll kind of start it off here for the mock trial team. What coverage would this have for students who do not participate in the mock trial program?
The impact in the classroom is that as the advocacy skills of the mock trial students go up, so do the skills in the classroom. I talked to you about Lily and Danny. They were witnesses on the championship team. When they came in, they were just 2 gorgeous little blondes, and some people make assumptions about blondes and their ability to hold that argument. Well, it didn't take many class periods before the class was saying, okay, Lily and Danny, stop doing that mock trial stuff. because they just felt like they had an unfair advantage in the classroom. So it elevates the entire classroom, because whether you're a witness or whether you're a lawyer, the elevation comes in the classroom. They don't leave that stuff at the tournament. They bring it back into the classroom.
Great, thank you.
I just wondered how many students participate in the mock trial program, or per year? How many students does this touch?
Do my best, Phil Donahue.
In any given calendar academic year, it averages somewhere between 10 and 30 students. The 20 we start out in the fall are different than the 20 we have in the spring, because mock trial runs both fall and spring semester. And it also touches every student in my class, because we do a classroom simulation, and I bring these young people into the class too. And so every student I touch at this university has a mock trial simulation experience, and I have multiple sections in the fall and also section in the winter, and so it touches all of those students.
Dan, I'm not sure how you did it, but we just had that exact same question online, so well done. I texted you.
Melodie, on the software for the fashion and retail management program, will the school take on the recurring licensing if we make an initial investment in that?
I calculated the first 2 years within the $8,000 to $10,000. Depending on how far the team actually would need to travel to us, it's an estimate. It could even be lower. We might even already have covered the first 3 years of that multi-year license. But I think that with the experience that I've had here with the administration, they would be very supportive in going forward after that. I think I see, oh, Dr. Tim is in the back, and she's saying yes. Absolutely, they will. I couldn't commit for them, but they've been very supportive since I've been at Northwood, and so I would think that they would want to continue it. Yes.
I'm going to check the online questions one more time. We have a question on the online live stream again for the fashion program. Does the software for the fashion department require additional support with computers, or is it cloud-based for the 100 user seats?
I do not honestly know if it's cloud-based. I don't believe so, because when I looked, and I received an email because I've already reached out to the team that would be installing. They said it was 100 licenses, but we could always increase those licenses if we need to. But at this moment, 100 would actually be more than what we need, but that's just kind of what they give you automatically. I would have to look. Right now, I don't think they would need, though, a cloud-based service to be able to use it, but it might. SmartDraw does have cloud-based, so I'm sure maybe all of the IT softwares do at this point. Thank you. Not sure.
We have another question for the signature events team. How do you get students to engage in an outdoor space during the winter?
So that's something we've ran into while deciding this whole thing as well. One thing is, especially during times where it may be snowing or anything like that, we still put on events outside, whether it's something like a Christmas lighting ceremony, something like that, where students are able to sit outside. I've noticed, at least while I walk into class as well, there are students still always participating, doing something outside, sitting there in between classes. They're not always just inside. That's just from my observations, though, so I obviously can't speak for the university as a whole.
Additionally, it opens up a place to have outdoor events, like if there's like a fire pit, you could have like a hot chocolate event or something. There would be that outdoor seating continued, or we could just stand around the fire pit. That would be neat. So it would provide another opportunity to have a social event outside.
I'm going to give last call for online questions. There's about a 20-second delay, so we're going to give them about 20 seconds to catch up with where we are. If you have any questions online, please submit them, and we will submit them to the teams and get your questions answered.
While we're waiting, just for those of you online, again, the website to vote is sli.do. You can go there and vote in just a couple of minutes while we're waiting for questions.
I'm going to throw in one more exciting announcement. I know we've mentioned that we have 62 members and we're taking new members every day. With this first round, we are excited to announce that although we only have 62 members right now, we are giving the full $10,000 funding to whoever wins this project. So we have a silent donor who agreed to fill that gap this round, and so just keep that in mind as you're voting for these projects. We do have projects. We do have the full funding for any one of these amazing opportunities. Okay, with that, I'm going to ask the students and the advisors to kindly step out, and we're going to do voting privately, and then we'll call you back in just probably 5 minutes. Thank you.
For the person anonymous who just submitted the last question, we will have the teams answer your question once they return back in after voting. So the question that was just asked, what have each of the top 3 selected learned about Northwood or Northwood alumni through this whole process? So they're interested in the students' take on this process, so we'll have them answer that once they return.
Good question. Okay. Slido. Yep. Yeah, right on your phone. Everyone who's here in person, you can also please vote on your phone. SLIDO, NU Project 100. Christopher.
Should be able to escape out of it. Escape. Sorry, Julie.
Can you pull it up?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what you're seeing on the screen is the live tally of all the people who are voting on these projects and their percentages.
It moved. Students are out in the back voting for themselves. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, there's 21 of us online, so that's a good number. Can they hear us? Yeah. Right now? Yeah. Do you want to say hello? Hi, Rookie and Jamie. I can recognize our alumni council members that are here today. Dan Sarr, raise your hand. Ashley Summers, Garrett Borsaw, Cliff Miller, then Dan Waskovich. They're all members of the council, the leaders of this group. He's hungry.
Highest ranking Northwood official in the room gets the final say. Is that how this works?
Does it have to all go to one, or can you split?
That.
We originally gave the estimate of 7:40 when voting would begin, so probably just a few more minutes. It's possible not everyone watched the presentation, so just walking in to vote.
Is there an electoral college and a popular vote?
Yeah, if you know anyone. Oh. I think it's the question that you, yeah. Oh, Aaron, Missouri? Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who set this up for us to participate online. We had a whole family watching, and our 3 and 5-year-old weighed in on the voting.
That's a great.
Welcome to Nashville. Excited to be a part of the program. Nice job.
Where are you getting these comments?
It's in the questions. It's just taking a while. Questions. It's just taking a second to update. Scroll down.
Hi, Craig.
Oh.
Hi, Craig.
Who's the popular guy?
Cameras are all behind me. How they know it was me?
That's a silly question.
For those on the live stream, we have about 1 minute left for voting.
So our fall meeting will be on Saturday, October 7th. We'll host a brunch, which is auto show homecoming weekend. We're hoping that maybe more will be able to be here in person. If not, that's fine. I think people like viewing online too. A lot of these projects that didn't make it through this round are fully eligible for the fall. So we have talked to all of those student groups already, and they're fixing their applications to make them even better for next time to hopefully make it through. Yeah.
If the fashion department wants to apply for a grant again next round, are they able to do that?
Absolutely. Yep.
There's one, if one wins, we have to wait.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sorry, yes. If you're the winner,
So they'd have to skip around.
you have to wait. Yeah. Good point. Yep.
All right, we are going to shut down the voting process. Voting has been locked.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I should shut this down, correct?
You can keep it open, so let the students come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see. Yeah. Okay. I have my certificate. Let me go get that.
They're all on slide.
You want to let them in? Thank you.
Before we announce the results, I'd like to have each of the groups respond to one of the questions that came in right before you left the room. And they'd like to hear from, just very briefly, from each group, what about this process did you learn about Northwood University and Northwood University alumni? And just as a brief note, we had someone who was live streaming from here who has their family gathered around the TV with their 3-year-old and their 5-year-old, and they got to weigh in on the process too. So I'm going to start with the Signature Events team, and if you could just answer the question, what about this process did you learn about Northwood?
So this process really helped me learn a lot about Northwood, from what's attainable and really attainable and what isn't. Also, even when meeting with different teams and whoever else competed against us, everyone at Northwood's very, very determined. Doesn't matter what major you are, where you come from, everyone has a goal, and what sets Northwood apart from everywhere else is they all come here to win. So that's what I got.
And I'd like to start off just by saying thank you to all the donors who have invested in us today. And what I learned from today's competition is I just learned about the generosity of donors that they have in investing in students such as myself, and it makes me want to strive each and every day to make myself an investment that pays off. And that's basically what I learned. I'm sure Mr. Peasley would say the same, nods his head, so he would say the same.
Oh, sorry. I'm losing track of everybody in the crowd.
I think what I learned the most is that Northwood just has an incredibly strong community. I'm coming from the South and a much larger university, and it's just amazing to be on a campus that's such tight-knit, but it's obviously well beyond just the campus, because this is obviously an alumni group that has contributed to this. So not only have they taken their experiences and all of their expertise now out into the workforce and have moved on with their lives, but they're staying a part of this close community, this close-knit environment that they found here. And that says a lot when people want to still be in touch, and not only be in touch, but invest and give back and pay it forward. That really says a lot about the community as a whole, and I'm appreciative.
Okay, without any further ado, I just want to thank everyone who's here again, especially you students. You guys are amazing. All of your presentations were just top-notch, and obviously you guys made it to the top 3, so just give yourselves a round of applause. And if you didn't make it through this round, we're doing this again in the fall, October 7th, so keep working on those presentations. And all right, our winner for the first annual Northwood Alumni Project 100 is the fashion program. Yay! Come on up. I should note that this is Melodie's first year here, first term. Yes, so this is my first time meeting her. So congratulations. Yeah, if we could picture. Wanna get closer?
Sure, of course.
Go ahead.
Thank you. 100 times over, 1,000 times over. But also to the other 2 groups that presented tonight. You guys did an amazing job, and I was also voting for you as well. If we could have voted as well, I would have voted for you guys as well, because you all have great ideas and projects that you wanted funded as well. But to all of the alumni that's online and to everyone in this room, I just want to just say thank you from all of the students, both fashion and non-fashion, that will have the opportunity to work with this software.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and don't forget October 7th, and please continue to promote this program. We take new members every day, so keep at it. Thank you.